So today I want to talk to you about a little story about one of my clients who was with me on a journey. And when he came to me, he was stuck in a rut, gaining weight. He was a student at the time, but he basically was training to be a doctor. Now, this particular client got into very bad ways and bad habits that he got stuck with. So I gave him some simple steps because often people make the steps rather complicated. They overcomplicate a situation when really what we need to do is simplify a situation and find solutions to the problems that that person has. I'll give you an example. Most people want to get the shortest route to the solution. They don't think about the consequences of doing that. So think about diet pills, think about supplementations. Sod that. You need to look at your food, mate. At the end of the day, you need to look at your food, people. That is a first port of call before anything else. So, I just want to tell you a little bit about this particular client's journey and what happened to him. So, he came to me and said, Nick, I really need help. I want to lose my weight. I have a goal weight of getting down to 80 kilos eventually. And I said to him, well, that's fine, but it may take a little while. I try not to go for a fast approach. I want to use a slow, steady approach as it's more realistic. So what I did was we took his weight, and at the time it was around the 104, 105 kilo mark. So you're bordering, I don't know, 240 pounds, somewhere around there. So you'll have to divide that 14 by 14 to get the stones. But basically, he wanted to lose about 25 kilos overall. Now, when he started with me, what I said to him was, right, let's go and do 3 sessions a week of resistance training, so weight bearing training with myself to help increase his metabolic rate and to also build some muscle tissue. Okay, so that's what we did. Then he decided he wanted to step his game up a bit after a couple of weeks, so he also chucked in 2 training sessions too at the gym. He was very determined. Now, nutritionally, now this is the funny part. Now, as you know, if you know me well, it's all about nutrition, or the big chunk of it is nutrition. The calories are just the training, and the rest of it is all just part of the process, and it just adds to the calorie expenditure. Okay, so now this is a story you're gonna smile about, and maybe you can resonate with if you're a nurse, a doctor in the public services, or you just have one of those jobs that entails doing a lot of hours where you struggle to get any breaks, or you don't always plan in a break. So what he did was, his tactic was 3 shifts. He used to do 12 to 14-hour days. He would go into work and drink tea all day. Yep, all day. And then when he'd get home, he'd have a pizza at night, okay? Or a takeaway of some description. What do you think that's doing, or what do you think that's telling the body? Okay, so it's telling the body that you're starving it for long periods. It's not going to be happy. You're not getting an even nutrient supply. It's going to cause havoc with your hormones, amongst everything else. You're going to get sugary cravings doing that. So what did we do? Simple. I got him to cut down on his takeaways. Yeah, easy as that. We didn't even do anything dead complicated with it. We just literally got him to eat some breakfast. So he had a protein-based breakfast with some fats in there. No, not cereals. It was usually protein-based with some fats in. Then we got him to eat something on a second meal, it's like a lunchtime. So maybe a whole wheat sandwich, or a chicken salad, or a wrap meal, something along those lines. A little bit of carbs in there, but nothing crazy. Just something that he could manage. We got him snacking on some nuts, and then we made sure that he was eating a protein and fats-based evening meal. Something like salmon with some vegetables and some coconut oil in there, and a few other bits and pieces. So that was just an example. And what happened over the next 16 weeks, because he was wanting to keep going a long haul, but unfortunately due to his exams he had to stop. So over the course of the next 16 weeks, he got continual drop-offs, and at quite a quick rate. His body fat was quite high when I first seen him. I can't remember the exact number, but it came right down. And you can actually see it in the shape of his body, and you can see this on my Facebook page and on my, which is, if you don't know it, by the way, is www.facebook.com/dodgefitness. And it's also on my website, which is www.dodgefitness.co.uk. So he couldn't believe the drop off. He ended up at the end of the 16 weeks, as it was coming towards the end, he was 17 kilos lighter. He weighed in at 87 kilos. Now, when he went off, I was a bit nervous about what would happen. And I've seen him again about a year and a bit down the line, because the aim was to come back, but unfortunately due to job movement and a few other bits, it made it problematic. So anyway, what happened was he ended up basically coming to see me. I said to him, "What you been doing?" And he says, "Nick, I've managed to keep the weight off. However, I did have a blip while I was taking my exams. I didn't train for a while. I ate loads of rubbish again because I was so focused and my priority was my exams." So he ended up basically eating a bit of rough stuff. Then as soon as the exam finished and the stressful period went, he used the same tactics that I gave him, followed the same set of rules, the same type of training, and guess what? It magically dropped off. He ended up at 85 kilos. That's incredible work, right? Incredible. And sometimes you just have to go through maintenance periods, and he was sitting comfortably at that weight. He was happy. He was smiling. The stretches in his skin had dropped off, which was freaking awesome, like because of the bio oil he'd been using. He was a totally different person. Okay? A totally different person. If I would have worked with him for a bit longer, it would have been amazing, but I didn't have that opportunity because of where he was living. He actually, his words were, if he would have wished that there was a trainer like me near him. And that's not me blowing my own trumpet, that was his own words. He'd had a trainer in the past and not got that good a result. It's all about getting in the right headset, looking out for the solutions, and working on it. Anyway, I just want to say that, and I hope you enjoyed that video, guys, and I hope that's helped you a little bit. Maybe with your story, or maybe you could tell that story to somebody else, because simple is often the best way. We don't need to make it really strict, really complicated until further down the line when you get into that lower level of body fat. We're only going for we're aiming for a healthy range right now, okay? So look after yourselves, take care.